You do not wait for bad news. You practice it. Before anything happens, your mind already builds the worst outcome. Not because you enjoy fear, because surprise can feel like a threat. You send a text, and you start writing the response for them. You picture their tone. You imagine their disappointment. You picture yourself regretting what you said. Nothing has happened yet, but you are already holding tension. And the strangest part is that it can happen on a normal day. A day that looks fine. A day where nothing is falling apart. So why does your mind keep jumping ahead? Why does it keep choosing the painful outcome first? Overthinking often feels like a need to stay ahead. Not ahead of success. Ahead of hurt. Your mind runs forward and checks the exits. It checks for the part that could go wrong. It checks for the moment you might feel stupid, rejected, exposed, or misunderstood. You do this in small ways that add up. You rewrite a message 3 times. Then you rewrite it again. You remove a word that might be misunderstood. You add a softer phrase in case they take it the wrong way. You plan a conversation that has not happened. You plan how you will explain yourself. You plan how you will react if they react badly. You do not call it preparing for pain. You call it being careful. You call it being thoughtful. You call it being realistic. But underneath the language, the pattern stays the same. You are trying to arrive at the hard feeling first, so it cannot hit you suddenly later. Here is the truth most people miss. Overthinking is an attempt to control the timing of pain. If disappointment is coming, your mind wants you to feel it on your terms, in private, in advance, in a way that feels less humiliating. If rejection is possible, your mind tries to make it familiar. It plays it early so the real moment will not feel as sharp. That is why the worst outcome has so much pull. It feels like a shield. It feels like the safest place to stand. Because if you can imagine the worst, you can tell yourself you are ready. If you can rehearse the hurt, you can tell yourself it will not break you. If you can plan for every possibility, you can tell yourself there will be no surprises. But there is a cost hidden inside that protection. Your mind calls it preparation, but your body experiences it as loss. When you rehearse pain, your body reacts as if it is already happening. Your shoulders tighten. Your stomach drops. Your chest feels heavy. You might be sitting in your room on an ordinary afternoon, yet your whole internal world is acting out a future scene like it is real. You are not living the moment. You are living a preview of the moment. And the preview is almost always the one where you lose something. A lot of people think overthinking is about danger. Sometimes it is, but often it is about something more personal. It is about being misunderstood by people. Being misunderstood can feel worse than being disliked, because it can feel like losing control of your own story. Like someone else gets to decide who you are, and you are stuck inside their version. And if you try to correct it, you worry you will look defensive, even when you are telling the truth. So you watch every word. You add context before anyone asks for it. You soften your point before it can be challenged. You try to remove every possible misunderstanding before it can happen. You might not even notice you are doing it. It can look like being polite. It can look like being considerate. It can look like being calm. But inside, it is pressure. Pressure to say it perfectly. Pressure to be interpreted correctly. Pressure to avoid becoming a problem in someone else's eyes. So you plan every sentence. You predict how each sentence could be received. You try to protect your image by protecting the conversation. And now the moment that should have been simple becomes heavy. Not because the moment is dangerous, because you are carrying 10 possible reactions at once. Overthinking also grows when self-trust feels fragile. Not in a dramatic way. In an everyday way, like you keep checking yourself because you do not believe your first sense of things is enough. You feel something, then you question it. You want something, then you doubt it. You get a clear instinct, then you search for reasons to override it. You tell yourself you are being responsible, but it can be something else. It can be the fear that your inner signals will fail you, that your judgment will embarrass you, that your choice will lead you somewhere you cannot explain. So you keep thinking, hoping thought will give you certainty. You keep analyzing, hoping analysis will give you permission. And this is where overthinking becomes exhausting, because certainty never fully arrives. There is always one more detail, one more angle, one more future outcome you have not accounted for. So you keep scanning, you keep calculating, you keep negotiating with the future, not because you love control, because you have been burned by trusting yourself before, and you do not want to feel that again. Overthinking rarely ruins your life in one dramatic moment. It changes it in smaller ways. You start living as someone who is always on guard, even on days that are good. You are at dinner. The part of you is reading the room for signs. You are with someone you care about, but part of you is tracking what you said. You finish a task, but part of you is already preparing for the next problem. Even joy can feel tense, because joy can start to feel like something that might be taken away. So your mind keeps one hand on the door, just in case. And the hard part is subtle. You can end up treating peace like a temporary break, something you borrow, something you will repay later. So the present never fully belongs to you, because you keep placing it underneath the future. This pattern did not come from weakness. It came from protection. Your mind learned to stay ahead because being caught off guard felt unbearable. It started building previews. It started creating worst outcomes. And it kept practicing pain so the real thing would feel less shocking. That part of you was trying to keep you safe, even when it made your world smaller. You have been trying to keep yourself from getting hit by life, even when life is not hitting you right now. That is why it feels tiring. Not because you are weak, because you have been carrying tomorrow on your back. And maybe the softest truth is this: you have been trying to survive moments that have not arrived. And right now, this moment is just here. Ordinary. Nothing is asking you to brace. Maybe the moment in front of you can carry a little more weight than the scenes in your head. Not because life is guaranteed, because this moment is real. Maybe you can have one ordinary hour that belongs to what is actually happening. Not the future, not the worst outcome. Just this.